You don't have to be calm all of the time, but you do deserve to feel safe in your body again. Let's talk about the window of tolerance, the emotional zone where healing actually happens. Bonjour and welcome back to Blumera Podcast. I'm your host, Brienne, and today we have a tiny but transformative episode. I'm bringing you the T, where T stands for tools, teachings, and things that have helped me grow and heal. These are short but powerful lessons that I've learned through healing, trauma work, therapy, and lived experience, all wrapped up into bite-sized doses for your own journey. Because sometimes the smallest shifts can make the biggest impact. So here's your tea for today. Take what you need and leave the rest. Today we're diving into something that I think a lot of us think and feel on a daily basis, but maybe don't have the language for. And that is how much emotional discomfort, stress, or pain that we can actually handle before crashing out. I'm talking about the window of tolerance. It's a tool sometimes used in therapy and was introduced to me in my therapy journey to help us better understand our emotional capacity and how we can gently guide ourselves back into balance when life feels like too much. So what is the window of tolerance? The window of tolerance is basically the range in which we can feel emotions. Stress, anger, sadness, grief, frustration, and still function. Inside that window, we can think clearly, communicate well, and regulate ourselves. We might not be comfortable, but we're tolerating. When we move outside of that window, we tend to shift into two states: hyperarousal or hypoarousal. Hyperarousal is that fight or flight feeling. You might feel overwhelmed, panicky, anxious, angry, or just wired. Hypoarousal, on the other hand, feels like freezing or shutting down. You might feel numb, exhausted, disconnected, or totally checked out. Neither one is bad or wrong. It's just your nervous system doing what it has learned to do to protect you. But living in those extremes all of the time can be exhausting. I want to be really transparent here. I am not a therapist. I am just someone who has spent a lot of time in trauma therapy and even more time trying to figure out what the hell is going on in my mind, my body, and my soul when I'm crashing out. One of the most powerful tools that I've picked up came from watching Dr. Kirk Honda in the Psychology in Seattle YouTube, while I was also actively learning this in therapy. He talks about the scale of discomfort from 1 to 10, 1 being I'm fine, and 10 being I'm about to crash out. I've learned that my personal cutoff point is around a 4, and once I hit that level of discomfort, I start making decisions. I take breaks, I step away, or maybe I say no. I don't wait until I'm drowning in an 8, 9, or a 10, because by then it is too late for me to come back easily. The work it takes to return back to a place of comfort, emotionally, mentally, somatically, is just way too much, more than I'd like. So how do you actually use this? Start with a simple check-in. Ask yourself, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being totally fine, 10 being unbearably uncomfortable, where am I at right now? No need to label the feeling. You don't have to decide whether you're anxious or angry or both. Just notice your discomfort level. And you don't have to do this alone. If you have somebody that you love and trust and is interested in these things, invite them into this space. Share this episode with them and let them ask you that question when they start to notice you struggling. It's all about building the habit of awareness. And here's the thing I want to be really clear with. This is not about avoiding discomfort. You can't. Life is uncomfortable. It's painful, it's tragic, it's overwhelming, especially if you are a person who feels deeply. Or when you're living through, witnessing, or even just being aware of injustice, violence, or loss in the world. This practice is about noticing what's in your control. It makes sense that when you witness these things, you're going to feel a certain level of discomfort. That means that you're human. It means that you are not okay with the things that you are witnessing or experiencing. And honestly, not many people would be. This practice isn't about judging where you are at. It's about practicing self-awareness, noticing where you are, and protecting the little bit of peace that you can reclaim. One thing that I've noticed is how different types of media impact me. Reading a short, factual article, that might land at a 3. but seeing the same story as a video, especially one with emotional storytelling or graphic images, that can shoot me up to a 6 or even an 8 or a 9 depending on the topic and how triggering it is for me. So I've decided to start making decisions based off of that. If something makes me feel a 4 or higher, I pause and ask, can I afford this right now? You can apply this window of tolerance to so many areas of your life. To decision making, you can ask yourself, is this going to push me past a 4? In relationships, you can ask yourself, where does this person regularly leave me feeling? Is it a 2 or a 7? You can use it within social media and the news. If you listen to my last episode on the spoon theory, you can apply that and the window of tolerance to ask yourself if you are absorbing things that take you beyond a 4, and if you have the spoons to process that. And speaking of spoons, yes, I absolutely use emotional spoon theory to factor in how much energy I have to come back to a balanced state. Some days a level 5 might be manageable. Other days, even a 3 is too much, and that's okay. If you want to hear more about the spoon theory and how I apply it along with the window of tolerance, make sure you go back and listen to that episode. And if you're wondering, can I stretch my tolerance? Yes, it's possible. That's where things like exposure therapy comes in. But that's not my wheelhouse, so if that's something you're interested in, make sure you talk to your therapist about it. I just want you to know that this exists, so you have the language to say, hey, I think I'm outside of my window of tolerance right now. That's powerful. That's self-awareness. That is healing. And when considering returning to neutral, remember that the goal isn't to feel good all of the time. It's to come back to neutral when things feel hard. If you're in hyperarousal, some techniques that might help are deep breathing, movement, stretching, or even just splashing cold water on your face. If you're in hypoarousal, you might need stimulation, things like movement, light, music, warm tea, or just connecting with a friend that makes you feel safe. Experiment and be curious. See what brings you back to your window. That's your real medicine. At Blumera, we believe that healing is both truth-telling and brave action. So I am ending each episode with a little truth or dare challenge. And it's time for your truth or dare. First, your truth. How do you know when you are outside of your window of tolerance? Really think about it and describe what it feels like in your body, in your emotions, in your thoughts, or your behavior. And now, your dare. Tell someone you love, I need a moment to come back into my window of tolerance. Use it as a real life practice. Start integrating it into your everyday life and see how it feels to name what's actually happening. And if they don't understand, you can send them this episode to learn more. I'll end with this. There's no right or wrong number. Your 4 might be my 7. Someone else's 2 might be my 9. It doesn't matter. What matters is knowing your number and respecting it. Let me know what you think about this practice. And if you're ready to explore more tools like this, check out the Blumera Planner. It's designed to help you track moments like this and reconnect with your self-awareness. If you have any more questions, want to hear from a therapist about this topic, or have an idea for any other topics, make sure you let me know. I'll see you in the next episode.